Everyone is going to die. Some of us, a bit more than others. Welcome, gamers. It's your girl Beowulf. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite game genres, roguelikes. Did someone say roguelite? Well, no, I said roguelike, but roguelite or roguelike is a derivative of. Yeah, come off and you knackered slag. Let a real rogue chinwag about it. A disclaimer, not all elves are rogues. Not all rogues are British. Not all British are elves. There's no connection really, it all just seemed rather roguey as a whole, innit? In 1980, a game named Rogue emerged, introducing players to a dungeon crawler where each descent was unique and death was permanent. This game laid the foundation for a genre that would robustly evolve over decades to come. Players navigate procedurally generated dungeons, battling monsters and collecting treasures, all while managing limited resources. The game's ASCII graphics were a product of its time, yet they conveyed a rich, immersive experience. You can thankfully still play it on the Internet Archive. I was worried about sourcing it since I record my own gameplay footage, so that was super duper helpful. I'll put a link in the comments. Rogue was revolutionary. Jeremy Pournelle, who wrote for the IBM PC nearly 40 years ago, called Rogue a time trap. He would find himself saying, quote-unquote, just one more run. Words I'm sure none of us have ever said late at night when we're calculating exactly how much less than 8 hours of sleep we're going to get. Even 40 years ago, people were sucked into this style of game for some of the same reasons that younger gamers might be empathetic towards. This catapulted many games directly inspired by it, most famously Moria and Hack, evolving the genre in more recognizable aspects, such as some fixed locations, difficulty scaling, and shops. But how is this affecting gaming in other areas of the world? In Japan in the early 1990s, we had Chunsoft, modern-day Spike Chunsoft, who was popular for Dragon Quest, and now working on reworking Rogue to be more digestible to broader audiences, keeping the future of consoles in mind. This is where we get the mystery dungeon games. Roguelike games that kept a lot of initial mechanics, such as fog of war and procedural generation. Mystery Dungeon became an umbrella title for many different popular series. I think my very first roguelike was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Red Rescue Team. I spent so many hours trying to hide the light of my Game Boy SP under my covers during bedtime for just one more run. This love for the cycle of exploration, loot, and return was instilled within me from an early age. Later on in the 90s, we see other popular titles influenced by Rogue and NetHack, such as David Brevik's Diablo, which caused some controversy among early Rogue fans as to whether it could be considered in the same genre. I've put many hours into ARPGs like Diablo, Titan Quest, and Grim Dawn, and while they're all addictive for similar reasons, I don't think that they adhere to the formula of permadeath and randomly generated levels the way that a true roguelike does. It's kind of like a you know it when you see it thing. Like the Iron Sakura sculpture. Is this a depiction of two people getting the freak on? Sure. Is porn a depiction of people doing that too? Some might say. But is the Iron Sakura porn? Like, no. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, indie developers began creating more and more games with some facets of pure roguelikes, such as permadeath, procedurally generated levels or loot, turn-based combat, and emergent gameplay, but incorporating them into other genres. In 2008, Spelunky came out, decimating previous notions of what an indie roguelike could be. If you haven't played it, I cannot highly recommend it enough. I spent most of my time in high school pretending to do school, but instead playing Spelunky, or Macmillan's Binding of Isaac, on my chunky-ass laptop. Spelunky captured my heart for literally thousands of hours. Heartbreak after heartbreak as dogs exploded, aliens attacked, and ghosts chased me. Farther and farther each time. Uncovering the rich story, secret areas, and shortcuts, plus unlockable characters along the way, This was something not often seen in a roguelike game, and it called into question, what is a roguelike? And Berlin answered. At the International Roguelike Development Conference of 2008, held in Berlin, Germany, players and developers both established a definition for roguelikes, known as the Berlin Interpretation. The interpretation was designed to determine how roguelike a game is, and they successfully whittled it down into 9 core ideas. Procedural generation. Dungeons and item properties are randomly generated each run to ensure high replayability. There's permadeath. Death is final. Restarting a new run regenerates the world. Turn-based gameplay. Players and enemies act in turns, giving time for strategic decision-making. Grid-based movement, where gameplay occurs on a tile-based grid. Non-modal actions. All actions should be available at all times, regardless of location. The shops may break this rule. Complexity and emergent gameplay. Multiple systems interact to allow diverse solutions to problems, which promotes creative strategies. Resource management. Players must manage limited resources like food and healing items to survive. Combat focus. The core gameplay revolves around fighting monsters, with few or no peaceful alternatives. And lastly, exploration and identification. Players must explore and identify unknown items each run, and item properties change with every game. Obviously, not every game that meets most or all of this is truly a roguelike, and there are roguelikes that might not meet every criteria. Consider Minesweeper, one of my favorite games of all time. It crosses off like 80% of this list, but I don't think we'd consider it a roguelike if we're honest with ourselves. But Doom RL, on the other hand, meets around the same number in my opinion and is very much roguelike. Over time, developers began to experiment with these elements, leading to a diverse array of roguelike-inspired games. This is where we have roguelite, or roguelike-like categories, but they really all get lumped together as roguelike unless you're being pedantic. So, what exactly makes roguelikes so irresistible? Let's delve into the psychology behind their addictive nature. At the core of roguelikes lies the concept of replayability. Procedurally generated maps and randomized loot ensure that no 2 playthroughs are alike, keeping players engaged and eager to explore. We hope and pray, we ask chat to lend their energy, and in the end it might not even matter. A good roguelike exemplifies this, offering a fresh challenge with each run. The unpredictability of rewards triggers dopamine release, reinforcing the desire to play again. This cycle of anticipation and gratification is a key factor in the genre's appeal. It's like rats in a maze, or old folks at a slot machine. Sometimes I eat the tomato just to feel the thrill of the gamble. I joke about this, but ultimately this addictively short loop of discovery, reward, and death might be more slippery of a slope than it appears. Human beings have an innate drive to collect and to complete. Roguelikes tap into this by offering numerous unlockables and achievements, providing a sense of accomplishment. Some even make collecting for some greater purpose the gimmick. Like, for realsies, look at my town. Look at how pretty she is. They toe a fine line, as to not turn it into one slogging collectathon. Which is good for fellow completionists out there. These games are hard to platinum, yet we do it, often unnoticed. Unless you make a YouTube video about it and show off your Steam achievements. For those of us that love to get every drop of joy out of each ever-changing nook and cranny, roguelikes scratch that itch. Strategic depth is another hallmark. Games like Slay the Spire and Monster Train require players to make meaningful choices, with each decision impacting the outcome, leading to a sense of ownership over victories. I believe a player's agency in a game directly impacts their ability to connect with it. Not to say that you can't connect with games where you don't make meaningful decisions. Those of you who know me know that I love horror games, and plenty of walking simulators have captured my interest, albeit mainly due to story and setting. There's multiple facets that make up a good game that its players can connect to. Agency over your very impactful choices is just one of the facets that roguelikes succeed in. Roguelikes are no longer a niche. They've become a dominant force in the gaming industry. But what does that mean for the future? The success of indie roguelikes has influenced larger studios to adopt similar mechanics, recognizing their appeal and potential for player engagement, leading to a farther hybridization of gameplay styles. Even industry giants in other genres, such as FromSoft's Elden Ring, have incorporated roguelike elements into mainstream titles and are dominating the playing field. In today's fast-paced digital world, platforms like TikTok have been on the rise and substantially contribute to shorter attention spans. As an educator, I can speak firsthand to the decline in attention span across the board generationally, as attention has to be captured like that, or you lose interest. Heck, even making YouTube videos, if you all stayed after the first 3 seconds, that means the world, many things. Roguelikes, with their quick rewarding gameplay loops, cater to this shift, offering instant gratification. My hypothesis is that we'll see the production of roguelikes, or games with roguelike elements, continue to rise due to that addictive nature, especially as younger generations begin to code. We already see this in Steam if we look at the last few years. And what I educate in is math, so I know we can't assume correlation between the rise in TikTok and the surge of roguelikes, but I think what we'll see is this surge continuing. I'm gonna get ahead of what I'm about to say next, and premise with video games can be very good for your health. Multiple studies have shown video games can bolster short-term memory, working memory, and reaction time. But video games can also be addictive, especially when the style of game lends itself to empirically addictive reward cycles. A very sound study was done by Dr. John Fox of Del Monte Institute for Neuroscience at the University of Rochester. He and his colleagues studied thousands of adolescents over 4 years with brain scans and questionnaires to find that people with higher degrees of symptoms for gaming addiction had dulled brain activity in the areas of decision-making and reward processing, meaning games that capitalize on dopamine triggers might be a bit more dangerous for those with more addictive personality types. Don't get me wrong, I'm a diehard video game lover. I've coached esports for youth teams, and I will stand by the fact that they are good for you. They can improve social skills and allow access to a world of sports and community that might not have previously felt accessible. Just remember to let them not impact your life negatively. If one more run is the difference between being well rested tomorrow and not, treat yourself and your body to the rest that you deserve so that you can continue that grind tomorrow. Roguelikes, from their humble beginnings in Rogue to its current status as a dominant genre, have captivated players with their challenging gameplay and rewarding experiences. They offer a unique je ne sais quoi, a blend of intensity and replayability that easily makes your dollar spent versus hour played ratio seem a frugal choice. Whether you're a seasoned gamer or new to the genre, there's a roguelike game out there for everyone, something that will have the right blend of mechanics, difficulty, and aesthetics to fit you. From building cute little towns to conquering literally Satan, experience the magic that is roguelikes. Just be careful not to lose your path along the way. Thank you so much for watching. I'll leave the names of the games that I've played during this video in the pinned comment. I want to hear what your favorite roguelike is in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Much love. See you soon. Motherfucker.